your situations and relationship settlements through fourth strand DNA activation. This is our topic today. I am Anshu Sharma. Welcome to my channel. A bit of background explanation for the newcomers before we come to the topic, explaining how fourth strand DNA activation and embodiment affects your individual life. Dimensions. Dimensions consist of frequency bands, and frequency is the rate per second of a vibration, constituting a wave, either in a material, just as in sound waves, or in an electromagnetic field, as in radio waves and light waves. In density 1, which is basically matter density, the frequency is always low. The rate of our action is as cause and effect, which is also low. It takes longer to see the effect of our actions in density 1, and which is the density. We live in 15-dimensional time matrix, broken down into 5 harmonic universes of 3 dimensions each. There is a density level attached to each harmonic universe, going down from lighter to denser. We are in density 1 of harmonic universe 1, consisting of 3 lower dimensions, dimensions 1, 2 and 3. This is a most solid matter gets. Currently, millions are experiencing fourth strand DNA activations, attempting to balance and assemble both inner DNA strands within and also outer karmic settlements. Now, there are subplanes within each dimension. Each subplane consists of a different frequency. I am going to show you the diagram a little bit later, which will make the things clearer to you. The higher subplanes within a dimension resonate to higher frequencies or higher octaves or overtones, we can call them, and the lower subplanes resonate with lower frequencies, or we call them bass tones. However, these different planes are not really separate like books piled up on a shelf, but each subplane penetrates the one just above it and the one below it. So let's have a look at the diagram to make it a little bit clearer. So if you can have a look, I'll just hold it for you. Harmonic universes can be called same as density. So in the diagram I have shown the dimensions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but they go up to 15th dimensions. Then in dimension 3 and 4, which I have divided further into subplanes of frequencies, in red are the frequencies which are of higher octave called overtones, and the lower frequencies are called bass tones. During dimensional frequency blending, the bass tones of one dimension, they merge with the bass tone of the higher dimension, and similarly the bass tone of one dimension, say dimension 3, also merges with the bass tone of dimension 2. This happens during distortions. This happens when we are ascending higher. So both the dimensions are not like clear cut, but the frequencies are blending into each other from moment to moment. So I hope this diagram is clearer. So let's continue. When receiving energies from galactic center or from sun, the waves of energies activate everything from planetary field to human biofield, which I have explained very well in my previous video. Please have a look. I will attach the link. Why current time is so important for your evolution. These are, when the waves arrive, these are intense times of dimensional frequency merge. When base tone frequencies of dimension above, in the case of ascension, and they merge with the dimension base tone frequencies of lower dimensions, and in the case of distortion, the base tone of one vibration merges with the base tone of other dimension which is below it. Overtone frequencies, which are electrical, also merge the same way. Similar dimensional frequency merge takes place at the planetary level as well, where both earth dimensional frequencies merge with those of its double, which is called Terra, the dimensional earth dimension in the higher planes, Terra or Tara, which is a higher dimensional version of our planet Earth. It is to be remembered that it is just not a dimensional frequency merge. So when we talk about from physics point of view, we just tend to separate that it's a frequency merge. But it involves both merge of sound and light fields, and also a merge of consciousness and information as well. As energy is conscious, and always these frequencies are carrying information. In ascension, this is how our consciousness ascends, as now more data is available, increasing our perception. More data as frequencies we are able to hold within our activated DNA strands. However, because the fourth dimension is out of phase with most people's third dimensional perceptions, they are not consciously aware of it. So consciously we are not aware of the information and the perceptions held in the dimension above. But looking from the dimension above to below, we are able to see and also understand the perceptions and how the information is changing our perceptions and then beliefs. What we believe then come into our reality. As people begin to raise their consciousness, which is happening now currently, their perceptions are gradually becoming receptive to a higher frequency. Our states of consciousness sets out our beliefs about what we expect from our life. Then our expectations calibrate our perceptions to perceive that what fits into our beliefs. Our experience of life is dictated by the frequency to which our perceptions are calibrated. Whenever we are incarnated on the third dimension, all of these higher bodies are also alive and serve us as our mirror and support team. When we travel in fourth dimension, we are basically focusing in fourth dimension in this talk. We do so in the body that resonates to that subplane or to a higher one. In other words, we can travel through astral plane in our astral body or in our mental or causal bodies. It is best to travel the lower subplanes in our higher frequency bodies, as we may need the greater light of our higher bodies to serve as our protection. This protection is specially needed in the lower astral plane where entities lie. The light and love of our higher dimensional body is the greatest protection from the darkness and fear of the lower astral subplanes. When higher pulses are around, lower pulses try to get through in our mental, emotional, and in our physical bodies to distort. But if higher pulses are not strong enough, then lower pulses will distort and influence you. So this we have to remember. If our vibrations and our consciousness is not high enough, then the lower distortions can influence us. So now coming back to the original topic, coming back to individualizations of these teachings, at first I read out the passage from the guardians and then I will do the explanation to the best of my understanding. So exact what guardians teaching is, DNA represents electromagnetically encoded digital data imprints of the other living portions of your identity which are stationed within other time continuum. So let's do the explanation now. Let us apply this to fourth strand DNA activation. We just explained base tones in each dimension are magnetic and overtones in each dimension are electrical in nature. What does electromagnetic waves mean? Being electromagnetic in nature, fourth strand DNA data imprints draw in or attract other living and non-living personalities in your life because they are magnetic in nature and also electromagnetic. So they draw in, they attract towards you. The DNA imprint carries the information in your cellular memory from your past life. These accounts need to be settled. So they draw in the situations and the people in your life for a length of time, for karmic settlements, either positively or negatively. These personalities appear in your life either as situations which represent living conscious energies, or they come in as people in the form of your relations as friends, family, siblings, etc. They in actuality are stationed in other time continuum which is separate from your timeline. Suppose your timeline is going like that, their timeline is going either parallel or somewhere else, but somewhere you intersect with each other. but you meet them temporarily, like people you meet in a train or in an aeroplane journey for a length of time. You meet for either a positive or a negative experience, but both have underlying karmic settlements. After settlement, each goes in the direction where they were supposed to go prior to your meeting, in a different direction or in a different timeline. Similar to how we as siblings, cousins, or friends live live different lives in different timelines. We meet and then we depart when our paths cross. But what mistakes people do, that in ignorance people remain glued to them in attachments even after the karmic accounts are settled. It is like sitting in outside the bank where your account is closed. DNA triggering mainly involves negative mental and emotional patterns where your energy from the past experience is stuck or blocked. So, DNA triggering happens so that our consciousness is trying to tell us that some energies is blocked or stuck from your past life or from current life, but from your past, recent past, so that these energies have to be released. It is coming up to release so that you can breathe new fresh energies and move on. So you can settle the negative patterns easily by recognizing the intention of the person concerned who has come into your life and triggering you negatively, or a negative situation has come in your life. So focus on the life lesson you need to learn. Then in silence, once we have figured out what is to be learned or what intention the other person is carrying and what response we need to put out, then in silence formulate and execute your short-term and long-term strategies involving energies of peace and love as the final goal. This process may involve short-term peaceful compromise for your current protection and also appreciating what the other person is doing or contributing in the current relationship. But the main thing is building up your own skills, talents, warriorship, or whatever else is required in the long term, so that this mutual dependency does not get carried on. And eventually, when the time comes, we part mutually in self-respect for each other and with mutual love and understanding, and then we follow our own timelines. But what people do, they generally compromise but not build the required skills and talents through taking actions in the right direction. This keeps them stuck in a victim mode. Now just think of it. Why would the other person take your responsibility for life unless there is a mutual give and take? One-sided energies become lopsided, bearing karmic imbalances, which eventually turn into blockages in your body. And these blockages, whether they are emotional or physical or mental, need to be cleared sometime later. When you balance your energies through emerging opposite energies, so you balance the energies, there's some energies you do not hold at the moment. So the energies, the current situations asking you to balance needs emergence of opposite energies. Recognizing your unique situations and relationships. When you do that, you fuse particles with their anti-particle double. So the particles, they fuse with their anti-particle double and come into unity consciousness, become one. This way, DNA strands and their substrands balance and they assemble together. And you ascend higher both in your knowledge, your understanding, and your perceptions. Ascension is a process whereby we expand our consciousness through opening more DNA strands to receive more light. More light means more information as sound and light. More information come in as higher frequencies. Activated DNA strands then change your hormones and chemical composition of the body. There is a definite physics involved. And there is also conscious thoughts and actions involved. The whole process not only involves a physical process, but it also requires changing the chemical composition of your body. It is not just opening your heart and let any frequency come in without conscious awareness and take your astral field over. This happens when you are unconscious. The entities, fourth dimensional entities which exist in the lower subplanes, they come in your astral field and then affect your mental, emotional and physical fields. They change your hormones and they start residing even physical in your body through your changing your chemical composition. So whole process needs to be understood and actively pursued. It is a continuous process involving dimensional frequency blending, which can work both ways in ascension and also in distortion when we can go down in lower planes. So it requires your conscious attention, effort, understanding and balancing. So this is all for today. Thanks for listening. If you listen to this talk in conjunction with my previous talk, which is why this time is so important for your ascension, and relate it to your own experience, then it will make more sense. Aiding fourth DNA strand activation. Please leave your comments and share this precious knowledge so others can benefit also. Not only about this knowledge but also about the time we are in. So take care, stay tuned as we continue this topic in our subsequent talks. So lots of love and light. Bye for now.